Hello. It would help if I put my microphone on. How are we doing? Thought I'd do a little live stream, see what's happening. It feels very, very, very quiet in the crypto market right now. So yeah, could be quite fun to see how things go. I better put some little background soundage on, just for the shizzles and giggles. Want to get it all sorted. Cool. So how are we doing? Let me know if you can see me alright and there's no issues with the live stream. There shouldn't be, but I always get errors and stuff. It's rather annoying. Apparently my stream bit's too high. Oopsie. It'll be fine though. So yeah, the plan for this live stream is to go through things in the market that look pretty good. But not through me, through you. And then I'll look at them and go from there. And have a little bit of a laugh and a joke and giggle because there's nothing really to talk about in this market apart from Sam Bankman-Fried getting put in prison, which is all good fun. Deserved, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll see how things go there. We'll see how long he lasts. So yeah, we'll use CoinGecko, have a little look. We'll do a bit of perspective to see if it's going to be a disastrous kind of thing, i.e. random ass levels that people are putting on. And then we'll go from there. Just changing my bitrate. Bear with. See if I get rid of that warning sign. Still got a warning sign. Oh well. So yeah, we'll have a little look. Aurora. That is a Near Protocol project. It's been a while since I looked at this. I know one of my trustees in my community has been talking about this, but what's this? So it's a very low market cap, to be fair. If anyone is on, well, I say that on. If anyone knows my channel, they will know that I like Near Protocol. Oddly though, some of my comments recently when I've been doing like what do you call it, the price analysis videos, like do Near, like loads of people are doing Near, like asking me for Near. So it feels like, hold on a minute, are these like people that genuinely watch my channel or just trying to hope for something? So it makes you wonder. But yeah, this, I've talked about this for a while, so it's a good project. I actually had Octopus for a while, which is very similar. But I didn't really want to go for too many low caps. I picked another low cap coin, but I do like this asset. I think, in terms of what it is, I think this could be very, very interesting. So for obvious reasons, is a Ethereum compatible blockchain, so virtual machine. It runs solely on the Near protocol, which is obviously a very fast blockchain, which is cool. It's a good starting point. The other things that we need to make note of is obviously, you know, dilution, market cap, etc. Really, really low value realistically in terms of potential. But the problem is when we look at, hold on, where's the price? That is a problem with the price. Things like this, and we're going to talk about, well, probably this quite a lot. A lot of people look at prices and go, ah, it's a crap project, it's rubbish, shit. Because it's obviously doing like that. But remember the fact that this in 2022, January, $35. $35. And it was generating $16 million worth of volume, which is relatively high. So opportunity, it's 7 fucking cents. It's crazy. So yeah, there's a lot of room to the upside here, for obvious reasons. So yeah, this is a sort of thing, you know, this is the sort of thing, in my opinion, that you shouldn't be putting your house on, because people do. People go crazy for low caps, like, oh, I'm gonna put low, but they always are going to be risky. But this has got so much information that you can look at from the past as well, because it's been around for a bit. It kind of fits my blueprint. So I talk about my blueprint as in, like, I said it in one of my videos not too long ago, that I like to look for coins that came out at a bad time. And often when they do come out at a bad time, there's opportunity in the future if it does well. So yeah, this one definitely fits the bill. It's not a bad project in all fairness, but obviously do your research. It's just a quick glance. But the fact that its all-time high was $35, $36, and it's now 7 cents, it's crazy. Could do with more value locked, maybe a bit more in there would be quite nice. But again, it just depends on how much they're growing and what they're doing. But there's a lot of stuff in their ecosystem at least. Obviously the tokens as well. So there's a lot happening here. It's not a dead project by any means. But obviously look at the roadmaps, look at the developments, the community and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot here. But ideally you want to do a bit more research than what I'm looking at right now. Don't want to go too deep. There you go. Got its own block explorer. 55 million transactions. It's still working right now. So yeah, a lot of people look at projects and go, ah, it's dead because it's priced, but no. So let's put that one on the list. Why not? We'll make a list. Because long-term content makes sense. But yeah, if you're new around here, please hit the like button or press the share button. There's only 53 people in today, which is quite low, considering I normally get like 200. But it is holiday season, and the market is incredibly slow right now. BNC to $180. Man, if BNC goes to $180, so even if we look at the last one there, hold on, is it on here? Is it that one? Yes. So obviously ignore that. If it goes back up to say $35 again, okay. Obviously a lot more supplies came out since then. But in terms of the information, that's a huge gain. Maybe it won't go that high, but even if it goes up to 10, 3.3 billion, that's still a lot of money, isn't it? So yeah, maybe you want to doubt or question the fact of where that all-time high came from in terms of how much diluted asset was out. But even if it goes to like these sort of levels here, which doesn't seem like that mental craziness, that's like still $5. That could still be like a 60x. That's huge. Huge. But yeah. What else we got? BNC to 180. Mate, if that did that. People don't know this is one of my low cap coins. I don't know why you keep saying 180. It just seems like a random number in your head. But if that happens, I won't be here. I won't be here anymore. I'll be gone. I'll be living it up somewhere else and probably buy like a go-karting track and just drive on that for the rest of my life. Ori. I know a lot about this one because I keep getting a little updates about it. Ori join. Now, I'll be the first to admit, the one thing that I don't like about it is, I'll show you what I don't like about it. I don't fully understand what it is. That's kind of me. That's just me, of my naivety in terms of not doing enough research. This kind of is AI, obviously, elements to it. But the reason why I'm not like chomping at the bit about it is because it's like there's not enough information for me to learn about it, because let's be honest with you, I don't really need to learn about every single asset because I'm not looking to buy more stuff. But the website is only this. There's not much to it. You need to delve a lot deeper. But that's just my ignorance, basically. But the reality is on this, it's a very low market cap coin with a mainnet. And yeah, that's kind of what you want. The fact that it's a layer 1 chain is interesting, of the AI oracles, is also future-proof, essentially, if the AI narrative goes further. But for me, as a criticism, I'd like more on the website. I'd like to see more in the website to just kind of tell me exactly what to do. Apart from just pressing the learn button and just going on here, there's still not a lot of information other than a video. But that's just my ignorance, basically, just saying about it. But there's a lot happening here that could be quite good, for obvious reasons. The tokenomics have changed, or going to change soon, I believe. But that's as far as I know about it in terms of information. I am not convinced about the AI world in crypto yet. That's probably another reason why I'm not too turned on by it. AI is huge, don't get me wrong. But you've got Google Bard, you've got ChatGPT, you've got all the Bing ones as well, obviously. I'm yet to see a one fully in the world of crypto yet that really goes, oh, that's pretty cool. But we'll probably will get there eventually at some point, obviously. But again, in terms of market capitalization, it's 34.4 million. Dilution's not too bad. Total value locked, obviously 4.8. It's not too bad, but again, we're looking at opportunities here. That price action was crazy in this time period. So this was when BTC went for a big old run, February 2021. And again, it kind of does fit this blueprint where it came out at the start of the bull cycle, didn't really get the full roar of it essentially. So this could have huge gains, right? But you are putting your faith in the fact of AI being good, the Oracle side of that, the interoperability of it and all kinds of stuff. But this is what low caps are for. You're trying to buy the innovation. So it's kind of on my radar a little bit, but I've said it before, I'm not convinced about the world of AI yet in crypto. I think it's too easy of a narrative to kind of go, well, we'll just buy that. Cool, let's go. But that's my opinion on it. But yeah, it's decent, let's be fair here, but I'm just a bit ignorant with the website. I think the website could be better for explaining it, considering that a lot of companies, especially the low caps, put a lot of effort into kind of getting their message out there with AI and stuff like that to try and do certain things. I mean, I'm not all for hyping things up artificially, but that's just my opinion on it. Partners, quite a few, not huge, but it could be a builder. If we're looking at, where can this go actually? Hold on, bear with me. Not that one, wrong Yan. Should really remove all my tabs. So where was its all-time high again? Roughly $100. $103, and it was generating 10 million volume back then. It's crazy really when you think about it. So yeah, that could do a 38x potentially if it goes back up to its all-time high. That's huge. So yeah, there's a lot of like assets that look like this though. That's a thing. Depends on when the circulated supply is going to change. But 1.3 billion for AI oracles. Depends if AI works. Depends how centralized AI is as well. The problem we got is obviously all these big companies that are doing it. So we'll see how much of the cherry they should get. So yeah, we'll put it on the list. Why not? If I can spell it right. What else have we got? By the way, this is just my opinion. I wouldn't treat it as financial advice. It's just my thing on it. I like to look at certain things. I have a little blueprint. I talk about it in my Patreon quite a bit in terms of what I like to look for. The key thing is try and find a project that hasn't had a big run or came out at the wrong time and no one cares about it. That's a really good one if the fundamentals are good. But we'll see how things go. What else have we got? I'll try and get everyone, but I'll probably be very, very unlikely to get everyone. Summary of why you're bullish on BNC. I like liquid staking. I think liquid staking is going to be a very, very big narrative for the future. The ability to do a lot of things with that, with multiple coins, is pretty interesting. But the reason why I like, BNC, and I'll explain. Well, there's two reasons. One, it's part of the parachain family. It's incredibly low market cap value. A lot of this information is wrong, by the way, in terms of the supply. This is very much different now. Incorrect information. But when you think about the Ethereum virtual machine and the Ethereum staking now and how many million is kind of locked up, this is going to provide it for 9+ blockchains and beyond, which is interesting. That's what kind of got me to like it. Already got quite a lot of stuff happening in terms of rewards. You can get decent staking rewards on this as well because of the way it's worked versus the Ethereum side of it. And as well as obviously it's got a full app. It's all pretty much here apart from the borrowing side. But yeah, it's a low cap. It's a micro cap. It's 4 million market cap. It was about 3 million not too long ago, and it's changed a lot. So I think for a narrative, cross-chain liquid staking on multiple chains is kind of a big thing that I quite like to look at. That's the main reason why. It's a relatively new project as well. But yeah, we do talk about it quite a lot in the Patreon, thinking, well, it's my low cap coin for this cycle. If it does well, cool. Right, what have we got? There's no quitting, you will be here regardless, you're stuck. Yeah, I've been here long enough now, I think. Just the way it is, I think. Fell down the rabbit hole one day on Google in 2016. BNC is still really low market cap, by the way. It's like still 4 million. It could pull back. It can be a false dawn. It can carry on going. Who knows? So what we got? H-bar. H-bar is an interesting one. A much higher market cap coin. This one's... It's an interesting one, this one. Because I like it, but I kind of like... You know what I mean? It's like... It's definitely on my radar, but for me, I would want it to be much lower in value for me to really contemplate this one. I would argue that a lot of these brands are really interesting. The fact that the governing council, how centralized or decentralized that is, I don't know. But the reality is companies and enterprises need a chain like this to kind of do well. Obviously, you see payments, DeFi, NFT, sustainability, all this kind of stuff is huge. This could do very, very well long term. It's more of a longer term sort of play. Now, when we talk about the long term, most people in crypto don't like long term. It's like, oh, I want instant riches now. So this is kind of why I'm like not really that interested in it, because it's already done, you know, a lot of runs. It's already worth quite a lot of money. It's still 2.1 billion. Yes, it's obviously corrected from its high, but how high can it go? It's currently, well, you can still get a lot of, you know, gainage from this. I mean, look at the volume up here. Wow, nearly $1 billion. Oh, it was $1 billion at that point. $1 billion worth of volume. Now it's 40 million. So you can see the difference in how the market is. So when we look at this, you're probably thinking, well, how many X's can you get it from it? It's 2.1 billion. Can you see it being like a $20 billion asset? Maybe. Is it worth putting your money in to get a 10x? Don't know. Crypto is a very different beast. So if you're going to buy something like this, it should be one of your obvious kind of picks where you're thinking, well, you could probably put maybe 10% in here and aim for something much, you know, a more consolidated area of gaining some monies, obviously. But yeah, it is a decent asset, don't get me wrong. But if we're looking at low caps, it shouldn't be anywhere near your thing. I'm not quite sure about this graph. I don't know if that's misleading or not. I feel like it's misleading. But hey ho, what do I know? Too late with the financial advice. This might be a stupid question, but will the increase in Cardano token value locked increase all-time high? It depends on how many people buy it and want to be a part of it. Prices, most time in crypto, the price is governed by two things. It's fear and greed, not so much what the token is doing. Most of the time, it's just the price. That's the problem with crypto we're in, right? We see things just go absolutely to the clappers. Regardless of what they release, it's either bad news, good news, whatever news, it's going to go and react to it. It's like now we're seeing fantastic bits of information come out about coins and certain products and stuff that they're building, but no one gives a cack about it. Let's be honest here, no one cares about it because no one's here. Like the volume, like look at Hedera Hashgraph had 1 billion volume in the last cycle, now it's at 40 million. Really? Like that's a change. That's huge. So yeah, there's a massive, massive change here overall. So we've got to be somewhat careful to it. What we got? Roon, how native BTC and other gas concepts trading save you. I've not looked at Roon for a while. Roon was quite popular back in the last cycle. It was very popular actually. I will show you. You can see it was a $20 asset. May 2021, $20 asset. Now what are we at? $1.39. So it's very similar to kind of like, what do you call it, Near Protocol in terms of a $20 asset, now $1.39. So similar sort of makeup to that. Just not as valuable because it's got less tokens. But yeah, it's an interesting one because when we start talking about, well, it's kind of obvious really, cross-chain swaps, yields and stuff, I like cross-chain. I like the ability to move things over from chain to chain because I hate being stuck into the likes of Ethereum or the whatever network you want to use. It's kind of a nightmare. But it depends on how many people. This is the type of coin that could do very well when the bull market returns because of like the opportunity to do things. It's quite a lot here. It's quite a lot actually. So it's pretty decent. But yeah, just you need to keep your eye on stuff like this and innovation. This is why people get too many assets and they're like, oh, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, I want to do this, I want to buy that. So, bloody hell. So yeah, there's more stuff coming soon. Should be pretty good. But again, I talk about it. You know, this is a similar sort of one where it had like a nice little run up and then it hit that first. So maybe the second cycle of this could be even bigger. But it's down 93.36%, which is, yeah, pretty crazy. So yeah, I'll put that on the list for people if they want to come back and have a little look. Oh dear. Or if you catch part of the live and you missed the opening ones. So yeah, I'm looking for stuff that looks interesting in terms of price, in terms of the actual they are active and doing stuff, because this one is active. You can tell it's active. It's doing a lot of stuff. You can tell when things are not active very, very clearly. What's the next one? What? EVMOS. I have not. Is it that one? No idea what you're on about. Realistic price prediction for Moonbeam. Honestly, no idea. Moonbeam's one of those ones that it's never had a bull cycle, so we can't go off it. If you are looking for picking out random things on your head, on the top of your head, sorry, you're going to look at certain elements around it or round numbers, because realistically though, it came out of what, 10, well, hold on, let's have a little look at the Moonbeam. I don't know what price. There you go. So was that the right one? Yeah. So it came out at roughly these sort of prices. Obviously ignore the wick, but arguably you'd look around $10 a potential high, which is not very obvious realistically, let's be fair. But obviously the supply will change and stuff like that. So even if you go $10, that's still a 7.1 billion market cap. Is it possible? Of course it is. But is it going to be hard? Potentially, yes. So you can't really get a realistic price point because it hasn't had a bull market. So it's nice to have a bull market or at least some sort of like run up. This literally got released and it's just been dying ever since, really, just due to how it is. But we'll see how things go. Moonwell is an interesting one because that is related to Moonbeam, as it is on the network. I think it's this. Is it this one? Yes, it is. I like the look of this one. I've talked about it before. It's a very low market cap. It's a very risky sort of play. I think the website's died. There we go. New one. Either way, right? So when you think about it, lending made simple. We need lenders. There's a lot of people very, very excited about this. Powered by Base as well, Moonbeam and stuff. The problem you got is how much of a lag or how much of a problem have we got from the previous market in terms of borrowing, lending, all that kind of stuff. And certainly new projects are hard to get trust, certainly at first, but could be pretty well. There might be a lot of decent projects on the Moonbeam ecosystem in the future, which could also mean that Moonbeam will get more and more, exposure. But in terms of this, there's not really much to talk about other than the fact that this came out again at the same sort of price. Not ideal, not the best sort of price point to kind of look at in terms of information. So you are stabbing in the dark. You've got to do a lot of research and understand that maybe this is like 1-2% of your risk allocation towards it, because it could be quite risky. So just be careful with that one. I know you like Glimmer. What are your thoughts on the price incoming time? Not bothered about the unlocks. It's already been battered, so how low can it go? I don't really care. If it goes low enough, I'll buy more. Let's have a little look at Casper. This is absolutely hyped up to the buggery at the minute. Personally, I would say don't buy this because it's hyped up. It's already done a monster move. This is by far one of the best assets of this year. As you can see over the last 90 days, the last 180 days, it's been brilliant. I think you've missed the boat on this one if anyone's thinking altcoins to buy. This is the narrative that you don't want to fall into. You don't want to fall into something that's already done like a 20x over the course of like the year, which it shouldn't do in a bear market, but it has. It looks decent, very, very decent in terms of what it is, but it's not the sort of thing that I would probably look at in terms of buying right now in terms of price, because let's be fair here. And you need to try and get this in your head a little bit. Buying something like that is crazy. That's from like, look at it. That's from May. That's ridiculous in terms of prices. So yeah, you got more chance of losing money on this one than gaining money, I think. Have we got some more data somewhere? Gate of, yeah, there you go. Gate's got a bit more. March. It's been crazy. That's monstrous returns. Monstrous. So I think that one can safely go onto the miss the boat pile, essentially. What else have we got? Centrifuge. Oof. I was waiting for someone to say that. This fills, right, the perfect box for an asset that people don't want when you look at the charts. It's like, this is like just as bad, if not as bad as Moonbeam. It's down 98.19%. And its release was right at the market top. This is like the perfect asset if you're looking for the blueprint of what I follow in terms of buying a couple of assets that was released at the wrong time but are actually developing pretty well. This one is developing. They are actually doing quite a lot of stuff. You can see the website's actually relatively clean. It's quite neat and tidy, actually. And they've got quite a lot of assets as well as token value growth over the course of the bear market, right? It is a parachain. It's an interesting concept in terms of what they're aiming to do. It's very similar to kind of Maker, and I'm a big fan of MakerDAO. So yeah, you could be looking at a really interesting play here. It's actually on one of my lists to buy. So if you don't know this, I've mentioned it on my Patreon that I'm going to be putting a lot of my money that I had in the crowd loans into a couple of projects similar to this. So I'm a big fan of obviously Polkadot parachain stuff, and real world assets could be a massive thing in the future. So this could do pretty well when we talk about the fact of, you know, BlackRock ETF and all this kind of stuff in terms of funds in the future. So yeah, Centrifuge has definitely been on my radar for a little bit. So I'm looking at putting some of my DOT potentially into this, because when we look at prices, I mean, it's ridiculous, right? It's 2.8 cents. Its volume is so low. It's definitely worth a little bit of DOT to fill up a bag at least, because there could be some absolutely crazy runs in a bull cycle on those parachains just because of when they came out. I know a lot of people hate them. I know a lot of people look at the prices and go, yeah, whatever, looks like shit. But they're good projects. They're just the prices have been battered by VCs and stuff, which is fine. It's fine. It'll be okay. So yeah, let me have a little look. Let's go back. Centrifuge. Have I spelled that right? Have I spelled that right? Yes. Just about. If you're new around here, please do hit the like button. It's a huge appreciation. Might get on top of someone's big account soon. I got so many requests. It's too many to keep on top of it. Far too many. Yeah, I'm staking my DOT. I'm not going to stake it forever though. I will unstake it, sell for return, and rebuy back low at some point in the future, then redo it. That's what I did last time when I grew my bag pretty significantly, which is quite nice. Pulse chain will do 100x. I doubt that. Not when your founder's in the mud. What else have we got? LQTY, what is that? Some of these I've never heard of, by the way. So a lot of them are a stab in the dark. Don't be telling your team members, oh look, we're getting a show of Mobster. You're not. Interesting. So 90 million market cap. Most of its supply is out, which is always a positive. But yeah, I've never heard of this one before. Zero interest on loans. LUSD against Ethereum. 110% collateral ratio. Unstoppable. That's bollocks. Come on. We all know that that's a bollocks phrase. Anything can happen. I hate it when people use it's never gonna guaranteed for life and all that pish. Wow, there's some interesting VCs in there. Looks interesting, but not the sort of thing I would go for personally. This is my opinion on it. I think there's a lot of doubt, I still think, in this market because of what happened. I think people are still a little bit bunt, just in case things go wrong again. Look at Celsius, you know, what happened to FTX and all these VC funds that were using interest-free, non whatever collateral loans, and it all went tit-shaped. It really did, actually. Not ideal, but in terms of where we could be, again, it came out at a pretty okay-ish, well, no, it was a terrible time. April 2021, so when the market was roaring, it was an $80 or $73 release, which is like ridiculous. And it's currently down 99.34%. I mean, the thing is, a lot of these projects, they may never ever go to all-time highs again. They may never even get close. But there's so many multiples here. You know, let's just look at some multiples, because this is where it gets really interesting. I mean, that was his all-time high, 78 cents. 78x, sorry. So even if this goes up to, say, $20 again, it could potentially be a $2 billion asset in a roaring market. Yeah, of course it can. But that's still a nice 20x, essentially. It's a kind of an obvious 20x, really. But you just don't know. You do not know what's going to happen in this market. But regulation could help stuff like this, for obvious reasons, because of, obviously, you know, certain things that could happen around this. So it might help. But yeah, it's quite a lot locked up, to be fair. But no, it's not the sort of thing I'd go for, essentially. How about ICP? I also remember you asking about mining stocks, and I forgot to mention Core Scientific. I'd appreciate your opinion. I'll look at mining stocks another day. I'll probably bamboozle people if I start doing that. ICP is, I think, a very interesting concept. I think it's more of an opportunity than an investment, if I'm going to be honest, because I think their release was absolutely shocking. I also think that there's a lot of VCs that took a lot of money out of this and absolutely ruined people. But when you look at its release and its launch and its fall from grace, when it came out literally at the market top, neatly on one of the tops, you know, the first Bitcoin reversal, the 10th of May. Interesting. That was one of them. I remember when this came out, it was like ranked 5. I was like, what the hell is this? Why is this here? And obviously, look at where it is now in terms of price. It is down 99.42%. So I wouldn't say, because you got this as well, I wouldn't say, yes, buy it because of X, Y, and Z. Buy it because it potentially could run again. And it could. Of course it can. Like, stuff like this, if all the VCs are out and the market has literally just crumbled it, what if it does get a bit of hype and it starts going up and up and up? ICP is definitely filling that kind of blueprint of, well, it came out, VC smashed it, the tokens just got bled out, it hasn't seen a light of day ever since, and it's got a lot of things going for it. It's got a massive team. It could be a lot of centralization here. It could be a really bad long-term investment, but it could be a great short-term one if it's ever going to recover that big drop from its launch. So yeah, there's definitely something here that's kind of interest to a lot of people that may well do well. In terms of volume right now, what's it doing? 23 million, that's not too bad. But when it first came out, honestly, look at it. It's like 1.2 billion, 2.5 billion, 2.5 again. It's crazy. Crazy volume that was happening all the way across this. Mad. So yeah, I'd say ICP could definitely be on a shout of a potential buy for an opportunity. Could be one of those like buy and hold for a couple of months as the market goes a bit crazy and you might get a little bit of money there. But it depends. Might not. Who knows? What else have we got? We've got quite a few actually. When is it time to buy? Still, it's not too early. If you're looking at your price action and you're thinking it's too early to buy, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Don't get greedy at the bottoms because you'll live to regret it. The key is to buy slowly and just accumulate. The more time, you can't just buy everything in one hit, or it's just pointless. Casper 20x in a bear. Yeah, well, imagine the bull, but the bull might not be as nice if you're buying it today. If you were the one that were buying it at the bottom and you've already 20x up, yeah, in a bull market you're going to be absolutely laughing. But the person that's buying it now, they might only make a 10x and they might be like, oh, that's really disappointing. It depends when you buy. It really does. You have to buy at the right time. Kasama in the bull? Nah.
I think Osama's gonna vanish. Personally, I think the testnet side of it, I don't think it's required anymore. They're not. There've been no updates on it, even with the Polkadot update and the upgrades with the tokenomics in 2.0. They've not mentioned Kusama at all, and that's what, a couple of months now. So that could be interesting to see what happens there, but we'll see how it goes. You don't need no. Don't put money into new coins. Don't make historically new coins don't make the most money. The older coins do because they've got network effect. If you look at the previous cycle and look at all the ones that surpassed its all-time high, there were ones that were literally like, look at Ethereum. From $1,400 down to 82, did anyone really think they were just going to like buy a new coin and make money? No, like people who bought Ethereum at the bottom made loads more money. Cardano was another one. There was loads of assets that did it because it went up so high in the ICO boom and they dropped so much. They've got people, they've got data, they've got information. It works. I don't know why it works better, but often you find in a bull cycle or going into a bull cycle, you see certain things happen. Look at ICP. ICP was a new coin. What happened? It died. Look at the parachains. It was in a bull market when they started to get released, but the price in terms of it fall off was due to the lag of them going onto exchanges. They all died. You know, not so much to die, but you know what I mean? Like the price died. So it's the same with a lot of others. So you got to be careful with going, oh, let's go for new projects. New projects will eventually just get swallowed up by the existing ones because they've got no network effect. You know, it's just, you've got to be very, very careful. Veracity, not a fan of Veracity. I think people know that I don't like Veracity. They like to use hypermarket fundamentals and it doesn't really translate very well in terms of price because look, the price is still on the floor. It's not looking great. So it's all-time high, currently 94.95% down. It's only 118% from its all-time low, which is a bit alarming really considering. It's just not looking, to me, I just don't rate this type of project. Personally, that's my opinion on it. But yeah, it might do all right, but it might not. So there's not enough for me to be like, yeah, this is amazing because they've changed a lot of their stuff. Like, so obviously this website's changed. It's a new website. It was all about esports and all that kind of stuff. But even if the chart's good, there's not enough to tell me that the developments are going to make it do all right because they've done a lot of releases, a lot of information, but nothing's really pumped the price. It's like, well, some stuff has moved, but this one obviously hasn't. So yeah, no tokenomics. But it also needs to be on more exchanges as well. It's not on the greatest of exchanges. Qcoin's the main one that they've got. Bing Hex, 24,000. They're always in my inbox. They do my head in. But no, I'm not really that turned on by this one. Even if this one does have a nicer chart, it realistically, you know, might do well, but probably not. Proof of views, proof of views, who cares about views? No one really cares. Like, look at Twitter. People put the view counter on there. Did it? Not really. It's just one of those things. They need to kill off meme coins to force people to actually... Yeah, I agree with that. I think I'm all for the meme coin world. I'm all for new elements of like making money and like the way that... Because meme coins have a place in crypto because it's very much... It's cryptography, isn't it? It's how it kind of started, let's be fair. The problem we've got is people get burned by them because they start looking at what influencers do and they're always late and they get absolutely annihilated. Then that's why the rug pulls happen. But yeah, I personally believe, yes, get some amazing, you know, research on the go, learn as much as you can, get as much information as you can, and make a decision based off something that is tangible that could actually do very, very well. But the reality is people want quick cash. They want quick. They want to get rich overnight and they don't have the patience. But I talk about this through experience because I bought some really good stuff in the previous cycle. I've mentioned it before, I didn't hold long enough to see the fruition of making much more money. I did make a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but I could have made more by holding my, you know, some of my bags. Not all the bags, just some of the bags. But overall, it depends on people. But yeah, I'm not really that turned on by certain things. For me, they've got to have a proof of concept that is a natural product that people want. But there's not a lot out there, I don't think, still. ADA in the bull, what's your selling point? Well, one of my selling points would be probably $1.50, then $3, and maybe much higher, but I'm not buying it this year. Thoughts on the Binance situation? I don't even know what the situation is. The FUD's died off. It's quieting down. It's because we're not at resistance. So wait until Bitcoin goes to like 30,200 or something, like, or 32,000 again, or somewhere up here. Yeah, 30. Yeah, if it breaks 31,000 levels, wait for some bad news to come out. Then we'll probably will start getting some bad news, which is always good fun. The market's moving right now. There's a bit of a glitch in the system, by the way. This is definitely not right. We've not moved that much, surely not. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. What else have we got? AXL. Quant is not an easy thing to add on this list, by the way. It hasn't retraced enough. Just sat there. Let's have a little look at the... I've never heard of this one either. 22 million volume. Quite a lot kind of in circulating, but nowhere near enough to get turned on by it. 139 million market cap. The powers of the interchain future. There's so many projects now, it's ridiculous, by the way. Got some decent partners though. 40 plus blockchain. So what is this? Looks interesting. More coming soon. This is a new project. So let's talk about new projects again. How new is it? So it came out in October 2022. Could be worth looking at. But yeah, just don't get caught up in the emotion of buying new projects all the time, because new projects are the riskiest by far. Especially the ones that you're buying mid-cycle. So say, for example, the market's going into a bull cycle and it's starting going mental. Just be careful of the rushed projects that look really nice with a website. They may not be all that good. But if you got enough data, this one might be all right, to be fair, because there's a lot of information. It's already been out for a couple of months. Stuff that gets released in the bear market often get like forgotten about. I've never heard of this before, so that gives you an idea in terms of where my line of thoughts are. My alerts are going mental, by the way. Market's clearly opened up quite nicely today. But yeah, this one could be of interest in terms of where it is. $1 at its rough highs in terms of release is down 66%. $1? Yeah, $1.15 apparently. But it says here $1. But yeah, could be alright, to be fair. Maybe not going to get huge fair value, but 139 million. Depends on the token unlocks. There might be some horrible token unlocks that could come in at a wrong time, but it depends. It depends when them token unlocks come in. A lot of people get burnt by that, by the way. I definitely did in the past. PBX, what on earth is that? Another one I've not heard of. Parabus. 7.6 million. Invest in DeFi. There's a lot of DeFi projects, isn't there? A Cardano one. I want DeFi to do well. That's the one that I really am rooting for. I want DeFi to do really well. Just for the obvious, really, because it's decentralized finance. Not many people trust the banks. But no, this definitely... Came out again, wrong, horrible time, no sunlight at all, decent volume on release. Now it's kind of trickled off quite a lot. Depending if it's active or not is also a big thing. This might be okay, but it depends on how active it is and what the developments are and what it's going to be doing. But it could do very well. Native governance token. It's only a governance token. That could be a problem. It's only a governance token. So it may not do as well as you would like. But we'll see. Let's put that other one on there. It's a pretty good one to look at. Yeah, new projects is a bit of a gamble, I think now. The more established Bitcoin in the world, well, not so much Bitcoin, but the world gets to cryptocurrency, blockchain innovation, stuff like, the more risky they are because there is established ones out there. Those established ones are pretty huge. I don't think it... So, interesting question about DOT. Not used for crowd loans. What do you think of the utility? If you go and watch the utility, well, not so much utility video, the video of Gavin Wood doing the talk about what's going to happen with DOT 2.0, you'll be staggered at how much utility is going to be used, because renting out cores is going to be huge. There's going to be smart contracts going on the core of it as well, so that's another huge thing. So yeah, basically people will be using DOT and buying and transferring DOT to have cores to make their blockchains run. So that's a utility in itself. Obviously, smart contracts is another one. There's potentially coin burns as well. There's a lot more going on instead of just token unlocks for 2 years. So it's a lot more flexible, it's a lot better, more of an actual system. So it'll be fine. Should be a lot better. There's rumours of it maybe being, like, the first part of it being released in 3 months, I think. I believe, but I might be wrong there. We'll see how things go. Oh, the market's doing something. Look at that. Which is always nice to see. Finally. It's absolutely lashing down where I live. What else have we got in terms of the list? Yeah, QNT, I've just seen that. Not really that interested. I don't think that will do. I think this is an interesting one, but it hasn't retraced nowhere near enough for fair value. Most of the volumes, obviously, circulating supply is out. It's remained pretty high, but CNBCs and stuff that potentially could be running on this could be a real thing for it. That could be of interest. Someone just screamed outside my house. I don't know what's happening. Sorry, people just be noisy. So yeah, this is interesting, but if there is going to be the CNBCs on this, I think a lot of people will hate it and won't buy it for that reason, especially in the blockchain world. But it's held up price so well. I was expecting this to absolutely melt when it did its first little... It did a massive pump here. And I was telling people not to buy it because it was far too overpriced. And I was expecting it to go down to like $60 to $80. Didn't even go anywhere near it. Your questions have to be interesting for me to answer them, or something that can cause curiosity. Screaming murder. Wouldn't surprise me where I live, Christ. But no, there's a lot of interesting projects out at the minute, a lot. But the problem is, we're all going to get to that point of how many coins can I have. If you've got more than 20 coins, you've got a problem. Shouldn't have more than 8, in my opinion. But that's my one. Adam, I've already looked for that EVOS or whatever it is. There's nowhere for it, so I've never heard of it, and I can't find it on CoinGecko, so there's no point in me looking for it. Star Atlas, wake up. I've never even heard of Star Atlas, to be fair. RMRK for NFT, I'm not sure. I'm not the biggest fan of NFTs, so I'm probably the worst person to ask. I find them pretty much pointless, to be fair. Even though I like the Polkadot ecosystem, this just doesn't really... I looked at it when it was like doing really well, but I mean, look at the volume. It's just like there's no one there. No one there. And that's a worry for that side of it. So yeah, as much as I want things to do well, and I do think there is a space for NFTs, but I think a non-fungible token should be a non-fungible token, not like a rock on a thing or whatever. I think a lot of people use them to like make money, and it kind of ruined it a little bit, which is a little bit annoying. But hey ho, it is what it is. But nah, I wouldn't really want to go for. I wouldn't want to risk it just yet. I would like to see what happens in the rest of the NFT world first. It's very, very cyclical as well. It might be a certain trend that takes off, but it might not be that. ZIL to the moon, probably not. Would you buy ZIL and VET at these prices? No. I would buy ZIL if it goes below $1. I would buy VeChain. I've already got VeChain at lows because I'm doing it for my my little portfolio on Patreon, which is always interesting. So basically, I bought 5 assets for $1,000 each. VeChain was one of them. I'm not going to reveal the other 4 because you'll be copying me. Superverse Super. What? I've never even heard of Superverse. If it's a metaverse coin, it's probably going to be battered by me because I don't really do them. It's got them decent volume now. What is this? .cool. Super Farm token. I've never heard of this before. Yeah, it's a gaming thing, isn't it? Doesn't really wow me. Not a clue what it is. Release at like a horrible sort of time. Well, $4.22 and its release, and now it's what, 97% down. What is it? Doesn't even tell me what it is. Yeah, not the sort of thing for me, to be fair. Will base have a negative effect on a Matic? Don't know, not a clue. Not sure how base will fare, to be fair, to be honest with you. But it's going to be an interesting thing. It's a new layer to the blockchain, obviously. It's a new layer to Coinbase having something as well. Coinbase trying to get their fingers in the midst of certain things, obviously. They can't just make all their money through fees now. They're an actual stock market thing. Hashflow looks like a top project. Never even heard of this one neither. Oh my god, I need to do more research on projects. Circulating supply is a bit worrying. 68 million market cap, and it's only got, yeah, not many percentages out. The future of trading begins. Any asset on any chain. Yeah, stuff like this is pretty good. Where it looks like this has got VC mitts all up. Yes, it has. There you go. There's a lot of VCs in that. Looks an interesting project, but you need to look to see where your tokens are going to get absolutely, you know, released on the off the chain into the hand of the VCs. What are my thoughts on RSR? It's all right. I still hold it. Probably going to buy more, but people don't like me to talk about RSR because like, oh, it's dead, it's died. Nevin's a scammer. He's not. I love the bear market. It's great. What are your thoughts on oh god, I can't even speak. I can't say that word. Oh, there it is. Lit. I looked at Lit a while back, but I wasn't massively turned on by it. Because obviously I'm not the biggest fan of this. You've got this or Kilt, I think, on the parachain world. I like the idea, obviously, don't get me wrong, of like, you know, making sure that things work and you exist to digital without, yeah, all that kind of stuff's interesting. But it's not the sort of thing that I would like, oh, that looks really interesting. I want to invest in that idea. But yeah, it's one of those where you've got to have kind of like a niche idea for investing. But it has a lot of good things that I do like the look of. So yeah, I have looked at this a while back, but not enough for me to go, yeah, that's really, really interesting. I can see this really taking off in the future. Because I talk about this a lot. You got to remember the skill fade of real life users to use this. This is why I like looking at certain things more than others. So sometimes a real life thing, yeah, it sounds great on paper or on a website, but when you put it into practical terms, it's like, okay, we need to work on that. But maybe, might do all right. Do you see any future of order books in Dexes? I like Pokedex, I just hate the name of it. I wish they'd change it and rebrand the name, because I think Pokedex is a very, very easy brand to kind of have and copy. But yeah, we'll see how things go. I think decentralized exchanges need to become better if they can have more order books, if they can have limit orders, which we're starting to see slowly now. If it's easy to use, because obviously people go to the world of Binance or go to Bybit, whatever it may be, even though they're quite hard to use, you don't really want to get stuck on, centralized exchanges all the time. But the fees are a killer. The fees are a killer on decentralized exchanges for obvious reasons. But yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? You got to be so careful with where you put your money and what you do. And a DEX is a great idea, but the skill is quite hard. And then you got the centralized exchanges, which are quite easy. They go, oh, we'll give you this nice little return on your money. And then you're like, oh, that's quite nice. And then it goes and explodes or implodes, which could be off fun. But anyway, there's some decent ones that I do like the look of, in all fairness. Centrifuge is one that I really like the look of. Definitely on my list of parachains to go for. But yeah, I'm going to shoot now. I've done an hour. Don't like to stream for too long. I don't like to leave you running around. But yeah, anyways, enjoy. I'll be back with a video maybe tomorrow, depending on how my life goes, because my life's pretty chaotic. But yeah, those are some interesting ones that people have said. There's quite a lot of what people have mentioned, but I've never really looked. There's no point me looking too deep into projects that I don't really know much of. But yeah, anyways, have fun everyone. Enjoy. And don't trade too much.